kind of gross. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the last video of 2022. This is gonna be the final wrap up of the year, the final consensus of my opinions on the books that I have read this year. I know that I film monthly wrap-ups and that's just how I feel about those books in the moment, you know, after reading them that month, but this is like after a whole year of reading books, how I feel about them. My opinions definitely change over time, so this is going to be interesting to see how I feel now after the fact. I am wearing a jacket. It's like a safety blanket for me right now. I don't want to take it off, so I hope that's okay. I actually got this for Christmas, low-key Christmas haul right now. It's from PacSun, and it's reversible, so it's literally my favorite thing ever. It's just so comfortable, and I don't feel like taking it off. I also got a little reading chair for Christmas. I think I'm going to film in it today. Well, I am filming in it today. I thought it was cute. It's not usually over here, but I thought for the filming situation, it could be fun. According to my Goodreads reading challenge, I wanted to read about 100 books this year because last year I read 53 books, so I wanted to double it for this year and I put 100 books was my goal, and I read, according to Goodreads, 128 books, which is more than half that I read last year and a lot more than I expected to read. I think a lot to do with it is the videos that I film. Like, I'm definitely reading a lot for videos, but on my own time, like, I read a lot more than I did last year, obviously. The thing is, I filmed this video yesterday. I actually filmed this video, but not tier ranking them. Literally took all my books out of my bookshelves and kind of like named off all the books that I read, but I was like, that's not really entertaining to watch for you guys because you can just go on my Goodreads or like go to my monthly wrap-ups and see the books that I've read, but I think the tier ranking will be more fun because I'm giving you my opinions again. I'm gonna try to go a little bit rapid, a little bit more quick because I have over 100 books to talk about. But yeah, I tried to film this yesterday and made a mess. A huge mess of my books, but also have on my notes app every month I'll write January reads and then I'll put all the books that I read and then I'll put that in a folder of like monthly reads. So all the books and all of the monthly reads are in a folder in my notes app. So I was going through them and I was counting those and comparing it to my Goodreads. There's 128 books that I read on Goodreads and then there's 126 that I read on my notes app. So there's 2 books here that I've either read or didn't. I don't know where they came from or what books they are. I tried to like compare. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this. I read around 126 to 8 books. I put them all in a tier ranking. I'm gonna link this in the description if you guys want to tier rank all of your reads. Well, actually, if you've read any of my books, they'll be in this tier rank, so if you want to try it out, I don't know. The thing is, I only have 105 that I'm gonna tier rank because some of them are in series, like, example, Shatter Me series. I don't have an opinion on, like, all, like, whatever, 10 of those books. I kind of have an overall consensus opinion of the whole Shatter Me series, but then there's other one, like ACOTAR, where I separated each book because I have an opinion on each book. Some of the series are either together, some are separate, but you'll see as we go on. This is also gonna get interesting because of my opinions, and I feel like my opinions have changed rapidly. I also tried to put them in order of when I've read them, but the whole thing got messed up. They're in a completely different order. Why are some of them gone? So I tried to put them in order of when I've read them, but the tier ranking kind of messed it up. So they're not in the exact order of how I read them personally, but it's fine. Let's go with my tiers first. I'm gonna start screen recording. From top to bottom, these are the tiers that I have created. I haven't shut up about it for a reason. So these are the books that I've continuously talked about throughout the year because I love them so much. Like, if you think of me, basically what book do you think of? And I feel like that would be where that book goes in this tier. It's just books that I don't shut up about because of how much I'm obsessed with them. Top contenders of the year. They could be 5-star reads, it could be 4-star reads, but ones that I really enjoyed throughout the year and I like continuously recommend or think about, talk about. Like, they're good books. And then I have mid. That's kind of self-explanatory. They're books that were good, but not like amazing, but ones that like I didn't hate. They're just like a 3-star. Didn't love, but recommend, which are books that I personally, this happens a lot where like personally I don't love the book. I don't know if it's the trope, the writing, whatever, but a lot of other people like, and I always recommend it to people that are like asking for a book recommendation. And I feel like what they're asking for, maybe they'll like it. So that's that tier. I forgot I read this is literally, there's some books that I read this year that I completely like blocked out of my memory that I even read. So I thought that tier would be fun to see which ones that I just completely forgot about. Not a fave, but was tolerable. So this is like a 2-star read. Like, I was able to get through the book, but I just like didn't really like it. Not a personal favorite. And then the last one is 2022 would have been better without. 1-star reads, books that I just didn't like. I could have gone the year without reading them. Don't recommend. The least favorites of the year. I'm really upset that this isn't in order of when I read them. I literally spent a half hour alphabetically like naming them so that they go into this tier ranking in order. and it didn't work. You win some and you lose some. But let's get into this. It Happened One Summer. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think this is a top contender of the year. Like I said, I'm gonna try not to ramble about literally everything. Winter in Paradise, part of the Paradise series by Ellen Hilderbrand. This was a good series. I think this is mid. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. Not my favorite by her. Fuel the Fire. Love the characters, but it was hard to get through because it was so, I don't know, put me in like a slump trying to get through this. So I would put this in mid. No. I'm putting it in mid for now. I love Rose and Connor. They're my literal idols at this point, but it wasn't a top contender out of all the books I've read this year. I liked their Kiss the Sky book so much better. It just like low-key put me in a slump, that book. Swear on This Life. Didn't love, but I recommend it all the time to people that want like a second chance romance. It was past present, and I loved the past storyline and the concept of the book is really good, but the present characters just really rubbed me the wrong way. Too Late. Honestly, I think it would have been better without it. This is one of the Colleen books that I think I gave it 3 stars, but looking back, did not like the storyline. I was so like on edge reading this that I just really could have gone without it. Lotus, it's another one. It's kind of the same feeling I got from Swear on This Life right next to it. It's a second chance, but this is like one where he was missing for a lot of years and he comes back and he's trying to like figure out life again. But then you get a romance and it was really uncomfortable for me to read a little bit. I don't know. That's a really unpopular opinion about that book. The Summer I Turned Pretty. I would give it mid. It was really like a comfort read for me because it felt very nostalgic, but it wasn't like amazing. The show though, that was amazing. Confidence of Wildflowers, I think I would put that in mid as well. It was good. It wasn't a favorite. The end was like crazy for no reason. And then The Resurrection, I didn't love it. Honestly, I would put didn't love, but like recommend. If anyone wants like a trope age gap second chance, I would recommend, but I don't know. The second one was kind of boring to me. Alright, The Kind Worth Killing. I think this is mid. It's a mystery thriller, and the writing kind of got boring at some points, but then you get like this little thing happening. It's not what I expected, I think, but it wasn't bad. And I think I would put it in top contenders of the year. The writing style for me was just so easy to read, and this is like a pretty big series. This is like including novellas and everything. The writing I absolutely loved. It was so different than anything I've ever read, the way her writing style was. I loved the characters. It was like a book and a series that I connected with all of the characters, and I felt really upset finishing the series. Having so many books, like so much was happening, and it never really got boring for me. And the romance was more heavy than I expected it to be, so I obviously loved that. So many great characters, so many fun storylines. I was obsessed with it. Still am. More Than Words. Honestly, I forgot I read this. I've read a few Mia Sheridan books this year, and More Than Words I think is a second chance, and it was really good. Like I remember enjoying it when I read it. It just wasn't a favorite, you know? Cruel Prince. Look at this little trilogy going on right here. I feel like it was a waste of my time. I feel like this trilogy truly did not enjoy it. I will say that the third one was more tolerable than the first two. The first two were just like way too boring and just like I didn't care about literally anything or anyone in the books. The third one though, I liked the storyline. Like, it was a lot more interesting. It was more tolerable, but I just really did not enjoy it. Then we have Hook, Line, and Sinker, which I had high expectations for, but I didn't really love it, but I would recommend it. It's a cute friends to lovers. Okay, then we have Losing Hope, which is a top contender of the year, which is surprising. I feel like not surprising actually. I enjoyed it. I love Hopeless. Hopeless is one of my favorite Colleen books, and Losing Hope is basically Hopeless in Holder, the main guy's point of view. So I really did enjoy that more than Hopeless, honestly. So that's a pretty top contender. And then the rest, I'd say Finding Cinderella and Finding Perfect were like mid. They were cute, quick reads. Finding Cinderella was low-key like Wattpad-y, like it was very unrealistic but entertaining, and then Finding Perfect was cute little wrap-up. They weren't amazing, but like they weren't bad. Maybe someday, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put not a favorite but was tolerable. I wish that in my favorite and least favorite books of 2022 video that I did, I put this in the least favorites, because the trope in this is just something that rubbed me the total wrong way. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but like I'm gonna say that there's like cheating trope in it. Like I can do a cheating trope. Like there's a book I'm thinking of that I've read that's like it is technically a cheating, but it's a different like storyline. Like this one like hurt me to read and I just didn't really enjoy it. So there's that. Loving Like Jane. This is actually a poetry book. I forgot that I read this, but it was cute. Poetry book about like self-love and all of that. I'm just not a poetry girl, but like it was fun to read. It was a quick read. Virgin Suicides, Get It Away From Me. This year would have been so much better if I didn't read that, because I actually talked about it in a video about how much I didn't like it, and people came at me me, and it was so rude. I just didn't like it. My Year of Rest and Relaxation, I don't think it was a top contender. I really enjoyed it. Maybe it was. I don't know, I really liked it. It was very different than anything I've ever read. I'd put it at the top. The Paris Apartment, that's mid. It was okay. It was okay mystery. It wasn't anything crazy. It was like a quick read. I don't know. Kiss Away Your Pain, this was a romance. I honestly forgot I read this. It was good though. Funny you should ask. Not a favorite, but it was tolerable. I honestly didn't like this as much as I thought I was going to. I feel like I saw it absolutely everywhere and so many people were reading it and like, I don't know. But then I read it and I was like, where is this hype coming from? Like, I just didn't see the hype for this one, which is kind of sad because I did like the concept of like the celebrity thing going on. And she has another book coming out in 2023, so I'm excited for that. Maybe that will be better. Then we have the Hotel Nantucket. That's top contender. If you like the show White Lotus, you would love the Hotel Nantucket. It's basically about the people that run the hotel on Nantucket. Oh my god, it was so good. The Last Thing He Told Me, I didn't love it, but like it was an easy quick read. It's kind of like a mystery, but like nothing crazy happens. I'd put it in mid. It was good. Better than the movies. People are gonna hate me for this. It was really cute YA cheesy rom-com, but I didn't love it. And I know that's like such a unpopular opinion because I feel like so many people loved this book, gave it 5 stars this year, but I don't know. I'm so sorry. But I do recommend it all the time for like literally anyone that wants a cute YA romance. Say You Swear, top contender of the year. This one I feel like was really good. Found family. All of the little plot lines that were going on were really easy to connect with and I really enjoyed it. Noah in this one, like the main book boyfriend, is absolutely like to die for. Like he is perfect. The only thing was there was just like subplot going on of family stuff and I just literally couldn't understand. I did not know what was going on with that or why it was part of the story, but the rest of it was amazing. And I highly recommend. The House Across the Lake I did love, but it wasn't a top contender, so I would say it's mid. Full Tilt, mid. It made me cry. I just didn't love the girl was like the rock star, the guy was like this limo driver. I don't know. Those whole character traits and stuff wasn't my fave, but it was a good book. As Good as Dead. This is gonna shock a lot of people. Not a fave, but was tolerable. I don't know why. This one just didn't sit right with me, and I think it's because the whole storyline completely changed what the main character Pip was about, and I feel like it just got really unhinged for no reason. Mary Jane, I'm gonna put this at the top. I'm gonna put this at I haven't shut up about it for a reason, and I know I don't really talk about it too much, but I absolutely loved this book like so much. It's one of the only literary fiction books that I read this year that I was obsessed with, and I don't really like books that take place in like the 1970-ish era. I like more current contemporary reads, but this one was just like so fun. I loved the little themes that were going on. I loved the characters. It was amazing. Rock, Paper, Scissors. We know where this is going. I haven't shut up about it for a reason. It's my favorite thriller of the year. I really got into more genres this year. I feel like not too crazy, but like I definitely dipped my toes into thrillers and fantasies, and this one, it was just my favorite. The best one that I've read this year. Six of Crows. This was a reread this year. Haven't shut up about it for a reason. I've been talking about this book for over a year now, I feel like. Reread it because I was in a slump, and the characters in the found family, their personalities, and just like when they're all together and the adventures they go on is perfect, and I'm obsessed with them. Addicted for Now. I remember just absolutely loving reading the Addicted series, so I think I'm gonna put all of them in the top contenders. So I'm gonna put Addicted for Now, Thrive, Hothouse Flower in the top contenders. Top contenders because that was like the start of the Addicted series for me, and I was like obsessed with learning about the characters and their relationships. The Guest List. This actually got me out of a slump, which is interesting, but I didn't love it. Like, I didn't love the ending. I guessed it, but it's always like Lucy Foley's books. Her writing style, I don't know what it is about it. I read it so quick. Like, there's one little part in all of her books that kind of like change for me, and it's like I all of a sudden get so interested to see what happens. I don't know. The Maidens, I did love this. I loved it a lot, but I don't think it's a top contender. I would put it more in mid, which is kind of sad, but I did like reading it. Daisy Darker, top contender. It was really good. I would do top contender. I really enjoyed it. Alice Feeney is just like my queen. Serenading Heartbreak. I don't talk about this book often, which is kind of sad because it's really underrated, I feel like. This is a love triangle trope, which I don't usually like, but one of the guys is like a childhood friends to lover situation going on, and then the other one is like a guy she meets in college. I think he's like a baseball player, and like her trying to figure it out does get frustrating at some points, but like I was obsessed with the characters and the story, so I don't know why I don't talk about that more often. Now we have ACOTAR. The first book I really loved. Honestly, I know I didn't talk about it in my favorite favorite books of like the year, but I think that all of them would be top contenders of the year. I know A Quarter Wings Ruin put me in a slump, but like the actual storyline of all of them were like amazing. The only one is A Quarter Frost and Starlight. I didn't really need to read it, so I would just put it in like not a fave. It was tolerable. Like I didn't really care about it, which I know is like sad because I love the characters, but it's just like an extra book I feel like that I didn't need to read. But yeah, the rest of them definitely top contenders. I'm very happy that I read the majority of that series this year. Before We Were Strangers, loved this book. It's a second chance, the whole city setting, and one of my favorite second chance romances. Sometimes I Lie, Alice Feeney, top contender. You guys know I'm gonna put probably all of hers there, maybe even at the top. She gets me every time. The Red Chameleon. This was part of my blind book date whatever video. I could have gone without reading that this year. It was just not good. And then Marta Perry for Keeps is actually the Twice in a Lifetime book I read in that same blind books video, and I forgot I read it. I'm gonna be honest, the book was cute. I just never think about it. Heart of the Raven Prince, obsessed. Haven't shut up about it for a reason. I love that series. I've only read 2 out of 4 of them, but I loved that book. Okay, The Inheritance Games. I had different opinions on each book, so that's why I put them there. The first 2 were definitely top contenders of the year. Like adventurous, there were subplots of romance that kept me in. It was fun. Like I've never read books with this storyline, but the last one was kind of mid for me. It like took too many directions. What Happened to the Bennets would have been better without it. I just didn't like that. It was a mystery, but it wasn't good. The writing and the storyline, I don't know. I didn't like that one. Icebreaker, I would put it in either top contenders. Yeah, because it's not mid. It was definitely good. Yeah, I would put it there. I enjoyed reading that one. It was just like really long, I feel like. His and Hers, this is one of my favorite Alice Feeney's too. I'll put top contenders. I really don't talk about it often, I feel like. I haven't really had a chance to express it, I feel like maybe. I don't know. Definitely top contender. At the end had me shook. I literally read it in like a day and a half and just sat there completely shook. It Starts With Us. I would put not a fave. It wasn't just tolerable. No, it's not a favorite. It was tolerable. I enjoyed it. I feel like I didn't need to read it. I was in It Ends With a Stan when I read it a few years ago, but like at this point, I didn't really care too much to read It Starts With Us. I low-key kind of read it for like my opinions and to give you guys my opinions, but like I liked that we saw more of Atlas, but I didn't need the second book, you know? Kiss of the Selkie. This was the part of the Entangled with Faye series. I would put it in mid, which is kind of sad, but it wasn't a top contender. Like it wasn't a favorite book of mine, but it was really, really good. It was cute. Little Mermaid retelling, but not a fave. Bunny, I didn't love it, but I would recommend it. I know I gave it like 2 stars, but I feel like it's a book that, like, some people like this writing style, so I would recommend it to people that would enjoy it, but personally didn't love it. Divergent, I'm gonna be honest, was a top contender of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed reading Divergent. I was so late to the game, years late. I know everyone read it in like middle school. I still haven't watched it, but the book was just so entertaining, and I really enjoyed reading it. If you've been with me, we know where this is going. If I think about it like long enough, I will still start tearing up at the ending of this book. Like I cannot wait for the second one to come out. I just like, these characters hold such a special place in my heart. The Things We Leave Unfinished, I didn't love it, but I would recommend it. It's definitely an interesting storyline. There's like 2 romance plots in it. It's cute. All the Bright Places, I would put, it wasn't a top contender of the year, to be honest. I would put it in mid. It had a great storyline and a great message and all of that. It was definitely sad too, but not a top contender. Kiss the Sky, I know I don't talk about it often, but it's literally my favorite book out of all of the Addicted Calloway sisters, like the whole series, so I'm gonna put it at the very top, even though I know I don't talk about it too often, but I literally have it like on my wall. It's one of my favorite books of like all time, and my favorite book couple, so it deserves to be at the top of this tier rank. Pack Up the Moon, I did not need to read this. I would say it was not a fave, but no, I hated this. That's a strong word, but I did not like that book. I would have been good without reading it. It definitely made me cry, but like the whole, I don't know. I didn't like the writing of it, to be honest. Tell Me Lies, I would put this as top contenders of the year. I did enjoy this. I loved the show, even though the show was a little different than the book. I loved both of them, and the book is a different type of romance fiction book that I've read out of all the books this year, so I liked it. Daisy Jones and the Six, she's going at the top. I loved the characters, the format, the layout, the writing style, the ending. I cannot wait for the show. Finally, I got a good Taylor Jenkins Reid book because I'm not like her biggest fan, but like that one was just so good. This one was mid. It was good. It was entertaining, but I didn't like love it. Couldn't connect to it, I feel like. Gothic Kana, I really enjoyed this. I would put this in top contenders. I feel like this book was really different. I think it was my first dark romance of the year, and I like really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. It was a lot different than any book that I've read. I don't know. It was a vibe. I liked it. Ghosted, top. It's a second chance, childhood friends to lovers. The writing style of it is just so good. And there's a kid in here, and I don't like children in books. But when I tell you, the kid makes the story. Oh my god, I was obsessed. Alright, so now we're getting to the books that I've read in December. This whole row right here, so I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to put them in tiers, but you're going to have to wait for my what I read in December video that comes in January. So I'm just going to put them in tiers. I'm not going to say much. The Holiday Switch, mid. The Hunting Party, didn't love but recommend. The Christmas Wish, didn't love but recommend. Kingdom of the Wicked, I would put top contender of the year. Lovelight, didn't love but would recommend. The Housemaid, I can't put it at the top because I haven't talked about it at all, so I'm gonna put it in top contenders of the year. Love on the Brain, mid. Marriage for One, top contenders for the year. I Know Who You Are, top contenders. Wow, I have a lot. Kingdom of the Cursed, mid. Birthday Kisses, it was cute. This was a novella, so I can't really put it top contenders. I'll put it in mid. By a Thread, I'm currently still reading. I have like 100 pages left, but so far, top contender. The Honey Dauntless, honestly, I forgot that I read this. I always forget that I read that book. Without Merit, not a favorite, was tolerable. My Policeman, didn't love but recommend, which is surprising. I feel like a lot of people love the book. It was so boring to me. Second First Impressions, forgot I read that. I literally forget all the time that I read that. Darling Venom, we know where that's going. It's crazy because I read that book in maybe like February or March of this year, and I still, like in my winter book recommendations video, I've recommended this book and I'm still telling people to this day that they need to read it, and it's a book that I will run my mouth off for the rest of my life that everyone needs to read. So, Most of All You, why do I not remember what it's about? I forgot. Love in Other Words, I reread it this year. Best decision I've ever made. Obviously, I never shut up about this book. It's my comfort book, my comfort characters. Alex Approximately, didn't love, but I would recommend. The Cheat Sheet, I did like this, but it wasn't a top contender. I put it in mid. It was cute. Twisted Love, totally would have been better this year without reading that book. I'm just such a Twisted Love hater, and actually I'm an Alex Volkov, is that his name? Hater. Dance of Thieves, it was mid. It wasn't bad. The fantasy just kind of bored me a little. Things We Never Got Over, top contenders. I just love Lucy Score's writing. Like, she is just such an amazing writer. The Summer of Broken Rules, I feel like is kind of surprising because a lot of people also love this book, but I didn't love it, but I would recommend it. The Fine Print, I would put in, I kind of like really enjoyed this book when I read it, but like looking back on it, my opinions definitely changed, and I would put it in mid. And then Terms and Conditions, I would put in didn't love but recommend, because this book put me in a big slump, so I have beef with this book. The Mindfuck series, love this book, or actually the series so much. On my Goodreads, I counted this as 5 separate books, but it could also count as like one full book, but I read it in 5 different books on my Kindle. But I put it in one little series book on here just to make it easier. But top contenders of the year. It was like my first book where it was like mystery, thriller, serial killer vibes mixed with a romance and a really strong female main character that I just love. Alone with You in the Ether is really interesting to me. Ether, I don't know. I would honestly put it in, I didn't love it. I would recommend it. It has amazing quotes in it. It's just the writing style, again, it's just not for me. But The Roughest Draft, it was mid. It was a little boring some points, but the storyline I thought was really interesting. A Million Kisses, I would put this in top contenders. Crew and Ren are perfect. Every Summer After, I loved the storyline. The whole thing that happened at the end of it really rubbed me the wrong way, but the writing style, obviously it's second chance, childhood friends, lovers, those tropes will get me every time, so it's definitely a top contender. Tell Me Lies, didn't we already do that? Wait, we already did these ones. Did we finish? Wait, let's see if I missed any. Oh, I guess I put the books in twice, so that's funny. Did we finish? No way. Yeah, I did all of these books. Is there 100 books in here? Oh. Damn. We finished. I put in the books twice. I don't know how or why I did that, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get rid of that. Anyway.
Hi. I don't know what happened, but The Bodyguard was not in my tier ranking, and that's weird because this is one of my favorite books of the year. I hope I didn't miss any others, but this one would definitely be in top contenders of the year. I'm obsessed with this book. It was very refreshing, and I'm kind of upset that it wasn't in here. And now I'm like, what other ones did I miss? Hope I didn't miss too many, but I noticed that this one was missing, and I love this book so much, so I had to let you guys know.
We finished! That was fun! I love looking back on it. Honestly, if you're looking at it from afar, it's very top heavy, which makes me really, 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 really happy, because that means that obviously I've found a lot of books that I like and enjoyed and loved more than I've not enjoyed and not loved and would not want to read again. The separation between the two and like the difference between the top and the bottom is making me really happy. Like, I found some absolutely incredible books this year, and books that I just like will probably stick with me forever, and just some characters that I loved. And it's like, I love these wrap-ups and like the end of the year reflection on what I've read, because it's just, I don't know, it's been such a great year. Not even just reading like my channel and you guys. I think I should just like thank you guys for your support on my channel and just like being like my friends at this point, and having the same interests as so many other people is so amazing. And if you've just watched one of my videos, if this is my first video of yours, or you've watched all of them, if you've liked at least one of them, if you're subscribed to me, like the little things and like all the big things like mean so much to me. So I just want to say thank you so much and just like express my gratitude, and just from like the bottom of my heart, this year has like, I don't want to be dramatic and say changed my life, but it's really like changed my life. And I just want to thank you guys like so much. You guys are incredible to me. I don't know what I did to deserve you guys, and I'm just happy that we have this space to love books together and talk about books together. I'm so happy to see all of the books that I've read this year, or at least majority of them. And yeah, I had such a good year reading. I hope you guys did too. Whether you read like 1, 2, 3, 4 books or 200, like that's amazing. Reading any book is fun. Completing a book is an accomplishment, and it's been such a good year. But yeah, this is my final tier rank. Definitely a lot of top contenders and a lot of mid, but I do have a lot that I really thoroughly enjoyed, and it just makes me so happy. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great year. Thank you guys for all your love and support again this year. It's been truly incredible. I have some fun stuff coming in the new year, a lot of fun videos, a little mini surprise that you guys are gonna have to wait for in January. Thank you guys for watching my videos this year. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you hopefully in January. Cannot wait to see what the new year brings us. This is gonna be so fun, a fresh start. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great New Year's, and I will see you in 2023, which is so crazy. Okay, goodbye.